These 4 exercises are ridiculously effective. After playing the violin for 30 years and teaching hundreds of students, I found that everyone practicing those exercises for 15 minutes daily made huge improvements. Today, I'm gonna show you not only these exercises, but how to practice them the right way. Exercise number 1. The 3 factors of sound. 80% of sound's problem comes from not adjusting the 3 factors. If you have whistling, scratching, or just it's not sounding very well, it's because of those 3 factors. And the first factor is the weight you put on the string. That means when I play, how much weight I give on the string. This will be a lot. This will be only a little bit. The second one is the bow speed. How fast you are moving the bow on the string. Like that. Or like this. This is completely independent from the rhythm or the tempo. It's just about how fast you move the bow. And the first one is the contact point. It means where do you put the bow on the violin? Close to the fingerboard or close to the bridge. If you want to have a beautiful sound, the 3 factors need to work together. That's something so important that we practice that with every student in the level 1 of the Violinacademy. And now we learn how to practice each factor and how to find the most beautiful version of every note. So first you need to learn to play with different weight. For that it's very easy. You can just play the open string like here, and first with no weight. That means just like that. Then you can play the same D, this time with 50% weight, like this. And then with 100% weight. And while doing that, always keep the same contact point and the same bow speed, so that you don't change the other factors while doing that. So 0%. Same factor, 50% weight. Same factors, 100%. And like you see, it affects a lot the sound's quality. Then you want to master bow speed. Here we will do something similar. First, we'll play only a D with 1/4 bow in the third part of the bow. That means like that, with medium weight on the same contact point the whole time. Then we'll play the same note, the same factor, but with the complete bow. And then the same one with only half the bow. The goal here is to really focus each time on only one factor at a time. Then for the contact point, we'll do exactly the same. Half the bow, first playing close to the bridge. Then in the middle. And then close to the fingerboard. Maybe you are thinking, I just need to play always in the middle, not too much bow, and some medium weight. That could work, of course, but that's not the goal here. The goal is to understand that you could play anything. You could play with a lot of weight. You could play pianissimo. You could play with the whole bow. You could play with this amount of bow. And always have a beautiful sound if you learn to adopt the 3 factors. And that will be the next step, how to find the most beautiful version of one note. For that, you will just play one note, and you will vary the 3 factors we just saw, trying to find where it sounds best. What is the best contact point? Okay, here is very good, okay? So let's stay here. And then if you wanted to play this note louder, then you will repeat the same process. Here it sounds better a little bit closer to the bridge. But now let's go to exercise number 2. Setting the frame for your left hand. Something super important for the intonation is having the right frame of the hand. That means having the right distance between the first and the fourth finger. Because if those two are right, then the fingers in the middle will be right mostly too. For that, we'll do some very simple exercises. The first one could be just playing E, A, 1, 4 on the D string, like this. But yeah, there are a few really important things to automate the right things and then take bad habits. You really need to have a perfect hand posture. That means that first you need to put the fourth finger on the string and only then put your first finger on the string, not the opposite. So that you really orientate and place your hand based on your fourth finger and not the first. The second thing is that you always want to keep your first finger on the string the whole time, like this. Instead of doing, that's very bad. Then the next thing is you want to keep the fourth finger maximal 20 millimeters above the string. That means we don't want to play like this, but really to keep it here close to the string. At the same time, you want to have your hand being very relaxed. That means that my first finger should press down the string, but not press onto the fingerboard. You can touch it, but not press into it. And I want to articulate my fourth finger clearly. That means moving the finger fast on the string and then lifting it very quickly, so that the sound stays clear. And then what you want to do before you start automating, playing this exercise in half note, quarter note and eighth note, it's just really making sure that each note is perfect. Not too low, not too high. Here you should really listen to the resonance. That means when you leave the bow, how long the note continues to sound. And by the way, if you want to learn to play the violin beautifully, we are organizing a free violin masterclass. You will find the link under this video to register for free. And now something very important. Exercise number 3, mastering string crossing. We just learned how to master one string playing. The next thing and most difficult part is doing string crossing. That means playing on one string and the next to the next one. And here, what I always saw with all my students is that the most difficult string crossing is those done with the fourth finger. Like, that's the reason why we want to train every combination of string crossing with the fourth finger systematically. This is an exercise we do with all our students in the level 2 of the Violinacademy. And what we are doing basically is that we play every single note chromatically. We start with B flat to A, then B to A, then C to A, C sharp to A, and so on. So let me play you a few one. The first one. And then we do every chromatic. Going through every combination. Yeah, don't try to do it like I just did, it's very wrong. We want to do quality and not quantity. You should really focus on one variation, it doesn't matter which one, and like before, first calibrate. That's the reason too we are playing in this exercise always the A with open string and then fourth finger, so that we can compare it. And very important for it to work is to let the fingers on the string during the string crossing, like I put it on the exercise itself. And then you need to make every exercise in half note, quarter note, eighth note. That means like this. And then there is one last exercise that's really important for a lot of reasons. Exercise number 4, mastering shifting. But it's not only the best exercise for shifting, it's one of the best exercises for vibrato preparation, for freeing the hand, and for developing an amazing intonation. And this exercise is one finger shifting. So let me show what is it. It could be a scale. What I'm doing is that I'm playing different patterns with only one finger. That's the complete opposite as what we did before when you play in a position when you are always changing fingers. You could do that with every finger, and you could do multiple combinations, like broken third with the third finger. So, for this exercise to be effective and help you in everything, there is a few super important things. The first one is that during every shifting, you should have no pressure on the string. That means that when I start doing my shift, I reduce the pressure on the string, so that if I will be to play the note, we will only hear that. The second thing is that we want to shift very slowly, okay? A little bit faster as what I just saw, but slowly. We don't want to do. This is not good. Go slowly. The next thing is that we want only to do direct movement without coming back or anything. That means that if I go, for example, from D to my F, I want to do and not, for example. For that, you just need to practice it slowly. And then the next one is that it's very important to let the violin rest on the thumb. Okay, that's one of the most important ones, to keep the hand free. That will allow you to make vibrato, shifting, and play fast. For that, you put your hand like this, and then you let the violin rest on the thumb, instead of locking the violin by pressing it on both sides like that. And then, during the whole exercise, very important is to keep the same posture with everything. If you look at my hand and arm, we see that everything stays the same. The position of my arm, my wrist, my hand, the angle of it, where my fingers are, everything stays the same. Only my whole arm moves, starting from my elbow, like this. But everything else stays exactly the same. Do those 4 exercises 15 minutes a day and you will see big progress.